Thursday. That's right, kids. It's time for Midnight's Edge After Dark. We have a hell of a show today. Ezra Miller's at it again. That's right. We got Clobby here. How you doing, Clobby?
Hey, hello everyone in the chat. Good evening, sirs, and thank you for having me here, Mr. Tom.
Greetings. And we also have with us VR, Valiant Renegade. How you doing?
Doing good.
Oh,
Doing
and
good.
look who strolls in. Look who strolls in.
Well, you know, he's got to be fashionably late.
Yes.
Because he has no sense of fashion.
Ouch! Shit!
Like flash.
Look! Someone's getting to 10,000 subs. All of a sudden, they're like, punching down on the brown.
I was in dick mode since like 250. So
wow. I was gonna be mean, but I was gonna be that mean. I was just gonna be
fired. You're unfired. I need you. Come here.
And then you're just in here going like, your fucking clothes suck and your mama dresses you funny. And it's just like, damn, dude.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, we got more to go. So
I got to tell you guys, my life has turned in with the. I know we don't talk politics on this channel, but with all the shit going down in the economy, my life has turned upside down. Which should otherwise be a leisurely summer has turned into. I'm sure Valiant can appreciate this, but I got small business clients that are just in chaos, crisis, stressed out.
Yeah.
It is an effed up situation. I got lines of credit not getting renewed. Oh my God. I'm going through more stress in the last 3 weeks than I did during tax season.
Sounds like you need a massage with a happy ending.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and as soon as they find Ezra Miller, you can book him.
Well, they may have. We've got some breaking news here today.
Segue into tonight's topic.
Yeah, but we got a super chat right away before the show even started. Todd Vandersees, if I'm saying that right, or Vandersees, says let Hollywood and Disney burn. Jeez, I can't read tonight. I got my contacts in, as you guys can see here.
I can read. Oh, you look so cute without glasses on. Wait, that's not a gay.
Oh, that's throwing me off, man.
Tom, I like the look without the glasses, dude.
That's wigging me out, man.
Wow, that looks blue eyes. Wow, look at you, Tom.
Well, yeah, because normally when I have these on, all you can see is the screen.
All I see.
Yes, you're a totally different guy. You like Superman and Clark Kent. You look totally different.
You look totally.
Holy shit, it works.
Yeah, you look all super. Put the glasses on. Watch, hold on. Nerd face.
Now who am I?
See, that's nerd face.
You notice Tom is never around when Superman is.
That is true.
So or at this point,
for that matter.
All he needs to do is put on a still suit, and he's Fremen.
Wait, what?
Lord, no.
Oh, wow, Valiant! Wow,
because of the blue eyes. Come on.
Wow, who caught the Dune reference? Wow, you're just
really
good one.
No,
ouch.
Well, the Fremen are the sexy peoples in the sand. Now, if he had said the whatchamacallits,
the Harkonnen?
The Harkonnen, yeah.
No. I was going by the blue eyes because of the.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I even had somebody just North Fairfax just texted me. Did you have some spice? No, I have very blue eyes. So yeah, I know. They're blue.
Wow.
Irish blues.
Look at you. Don't let Six see you with
Everybody's like, not that kind of blue eyes.
She didn't show up
it's
tonight.
A joke, folks.
I don't know where she's at. Shum is here, though, and he's now a member. Well, thank you for that, Shum. At what level? Let's see here. We got maximum effort puppy. Oh, we get to use this little
Is that Shum guy?
It is that Shum guy. Ugh. Like Gordon Shumway?
Shum, can I just tell you that Shum is everywhere I go. Him, Keely Chow, Mark the Infinitely Tired. Oh, go up the stairs, You can do it. You can get home in time for the Midnight Edge After Dark. Up. You can get. Okay. And now you're here. Now you're online.
Yeah.
That was like me trying to get home.
I might actually be dehydrated enough. My doctor's always yelling at me to drink more water. So.
You should have like a big, huge, like 32-ounce mug right at your desk at all day.
I'm being naughty here. You know what I got today? And it's not even
Why
Mexican
are you
Coke.
Drinking that
it's crap Coke.
Why are you drinking any sodas?
Corn syrup.
I was on the road. I just got home.
Me. Well, I was too, but I wasn't drinking soda pop.
Soda pop.
Okay, Mr. Perfect.
Andy Griffith.
I used to call it pop. Like that's like how I grew up calling
Like an
it
Andy
pop.
Griffith, a bottle of pop. We go up to Mount Pilot and get us a bottle of pop.
Isn't that how you Louisiana people talk underneath us?
No,
Y'all call it soda.
No, we do
You
not
guys
talk
call
like
it
that.
pop.
I'll let Clobby handle this one because he knows what I'm going to
No,
say
sir.
already.
We do not call it pop.
Aren't you
We call
both from
it-
Louisiana?
Yes. Sir.
Yes.
Then you call it pop.
Why?
No, we don't.
Ooh,
Because
No.
that's-
Nobody down here in
They
Louisiana
either call
calls
it
it
soda,
pop.
or is that one of the areas where they still call everything Coke?
it's what like Coke. They usually say Cokes or you know. Now they
Yep.
say soft drinks sometimes. but-
Soft drinks or Cokes. Nobody. Let me tell you what. 20 years ago, I was working at a place, and we had a guy that came in and started working for us, and he had moved in from, I want to say, it's probably like, I think it was Michigan, if I'm not mistaken, so up near you, Tom. So when he moved in and like he hung out in the office, we got lunch, and he'd start making comments like, "I'm gonna run next door and get a pop," and we would all like just start busting out laughing
Pop.
because it was just
Get
so
me one
jarring.
too, buddy.
Yeah, he's like, wait, is that like a BJ? What is it? What are you talking about?
No,
You know, it's like,
it always sounded like Andy Griffith to me. That's what they would say. We're going up to
Yeah.
over to Goobers and get a bottle of pop down at the gas station.
we're gonna go get a soda pop. Get a pop. Okay? In the Twin Cities.
Mount Pilot.
Yeah, it's true. In like Wisconsin, we call it a pop or a soda pop, and I knew that too. Like in some southern states, like they call just any fizzy soda Coke.
Yeah,
Yes.
just happened.
I
That's
just looked
definitely a Louisiana thing.
I just looked at the thumbnail for tonight's show. Well, what's this about Ezra Miller? I'm not.
Oh Lord, you're out of the loop.
I've been
we
out
are
of the
getting
loop.
to
I've been
that.
out of the loop since
Hey,
Tuesday.
let me tell
It's a
Mike. Let me
Tuesday
tell
show.
Mike. He's been cast as Speedy Gonzalez.
Oh no.
Wow,
This
what
is-
a
this is
dick
true.
Epa,
move.
epa, andale.
That's a dick move, Clobby.
Yeah, and then Stephanie Janacek is in the house and says Kojak was beyond maximum effort puppy last
Kojak!
night. Oh yeah,
Hey, who
Kojak's
loves you,
hurt.
baby?
what'd Kojak do?
That's
We're gonna
her
have to
dog.
wait for her response. Do you know what Kojak did last night? I don't
No, but
what
I know
did.
Kojak is. He's a kind of an unruly dog. He's really cute, though. I gotta tell you, I think Kojak.
He is.
He's an unruly dog. Is that what
He's-
you?
Well, he's just got his own personality. Well, every dog does, but I mean,
I say
hers-
Sadie's more like unruly. Like she yells at me when I tell her what to do. It's like, don't do that. She's like, row, 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 row. She's like, don't you tell me what to
I
do.
like how Sadie's like the
she
real.
gets attitude.
She's the real producer of Midnight Edge After Dark. Because once she decides it's time to go out and eat, that fucking show ends. The show ends.
Pretty much, you're not wrong. I mean, she's just like, and she'll sit here and she'll be telling me like, row, 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 row.
I like how she starts out quiet, like she'll nudge you, and then you can hear her go.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Kojak is a little unruly, doing the Amber
Oh,
Heard
wow.
all over the place. Holy cow!
Kojak,
Oh.
aka Amber, her dog.
Oh, God. He's got a splatty noise on there now.
Do that
I
again,
do.
Tom.
Hang on.
Kojak is the king of the castle.
Did you ever find the Price is Right one?
This one?
Yes. All right. I thought you
Yeah.
had. All right. Yeah.
I got
okay.
that one, and I got want, and I also, just in case, this one's for Mikey.
Oh my god, I can't. Oh my god.
For
I'm
when
so-
he goes, no!
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Well, you know why I'm in a kind of a good mood, even though my clients are stressing me out, because I have not seen any shows this week, so I am not triggered by any.
You know what I saw that was fucking amazeballs?
Let me guess. I knew it.
Damn, I
Hey,
want to see it. I
Beavis.
wanna see
Did a
it.
special show on it. I wish I could have
We're
watched it.
doing the universe.
I didn't see that. tonight.
Don't tell me much. I'm going to try to watch it tonight.
Me
Don't
too.
tell me much. Yeah.
Me too. Me and
All
Valiant
I
are gonna
will
watch.
say is it's the fucking most I've laughed in God knows how long.
Really?
They are not woke. In fact, there's a little scene where they have a. I'm not going to give it away, but there's a moment where they kind of take on the woke without even. They did just do it in their own Beavis and Butthead way.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of a really clever way of getting them into the now, and it works. It's hilarious.
I wish it wasn't on Paramount Plus. Damn.
I know that's the only downside for people, but yeah, I know it's like Paramount Plus. Like I know nobody's got it, but
I have it.
I will say that for those of you who don't have it that really want to watch this, if you get it, sign up for the 1 month, the $4.99.
yeah, you get 1
thing.
month for free. I think in some I got
Yeah.
a thing that offered me a
Go
month
watch
for free.
this and then
so-
go watch The Offer.
Yes, do yourself that favor, if anything.
If you,
that's
I mean,
worth any,
oh,
even if you have to
God.
pay the $4.99.
That's
worth it.
worth the $5. Just go, and the show is complete. All 10 episodes.
10
or
episodes
whatever
are out now. Yep.
Or it's done. Watch that show.
Probably one of the best TV shows I've seen in a long time. And yeah, Mike Judge is back, and he's better than ever.
Great.
I mean, the only thing I'll warn people, like Andre and I's complaints were almost exactly in line. And the only thing we really had was it takes a few minutes to get used to the animation, because it is a bit jarring at first to go from the classic hand-drawn stuff to a smoother, obviously done with computer animation. So once you get kind of past that, it's free sailing from there.
It's to be expected. I
So
understand.
like, yeah, even Andre agreed too that because I don't know if you guys have seen the revival that came out in 2011. Beavis didn't just kind of sound a little tired, like because Mike Judge does the voices for both of them, and his Beavis, instead of being right up here like he's supposed to be, he was down here kind of like this most of the time.
Yeah,
well, now they got him sounding more correct, and I don't know if they just pitched him up a little higher or if he's just got more energy or what the deal was, but like,
That's
yeah,
probably,
I mean,
that's
Beavis
a good
actually
use
gets some
of-
moments to shine in this one a little bit more. So yeah,
That's a good use of pitch correction, unlike 99% of the pitch correction that Hollywood uses out there. That's something to where that type of software is what you should use it for when you have, a guy like Mike Judge, who is now 20-something years older.
right.
I mean, the vocal cords, especially in men, but women too, the older you get, the thicker your vocal cords get. And you cannot hit the same sounds and registers and timbres in your voice that you could when you were younger. It's just physically impossible. So that's where that kind of stuff, that's where that technology is really useful to try to make those characters sound like
suck in
they
your guts.
should have done. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we were talking a little Beavis and Butthead, but we're trying not to spoil anything. Andre, welcome.
Oh, thank you. I just finished recording an editorial. So before going to bed, I think I can,
Oh, that was Andre's way of coming
pop
in and
in
telling
and
me
make
I
you-
got work to do.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
As soon as I saw Andre
That's
as soon as I saw him backstage, I didn't. Andre, I got to be honest. My head said, "Tom's fucked tonight."
That's well, it's not my fault. You can blame Ezra Miller.
Okay, so
But we can
get
cut
into
that
this
work down because we're going to get it all out right here.
Yeah, well, Glade Ribbon says, "Hail Midnight's Edge. How do I send Mexican Iron Man a pic?"
Oh well, I'll put
You
my
can send them on
Twitters,
Twitter or
and I'll
whatever,
put my
yeah.
email. Yeah, I'll put my email in the chat right now, Glade Ribbon. Hold on, doing it right now.
You're about
And
to get a
then-
dick pic.
Waltman says, "Can you believe it? MSN going hard on that Umbrella guy right now, and they're really pulling all the stops. I knew they started some things. What else has gone down? I'm not sure.
Oh,
But,
I am very well versed. I know
Tug is probably like,
following.
come on, keep making me famous at this point.
I got up
Like-
at 5 a.m. for work. They have
All that does is make them look worse.
Newsweek
in the end.
republished his name. His address is out there. There's a picture of him, which all this stuff. He's already been doxxed a couple years ago, and
Yeah.
now they're going
Yeah,
after
but now
him.
the mainstream is doing it.
Now the
it's like-
mainstream media is doing it, and they published his name in Newsweek and other platforms as well. I am so livid and pissed about this. It is. I am absolutely beside
Yeah.
myself because
Right.
Tubbs. I don't know how it doesn't matter how much, and the angle that they're going, which is just the most hypocritical, disingenuous angle ever, is about money. And you know what it shows? It
Well, they're
shows
counting other people's money, is what it is. Yeah.
exactly what a greedy bunch
Yeah.
of hypocritical assholes could you possibly be, especially
You know
with a
why
guy
they
like
do
Doug.
that?
I'm sorry.
You know why they do it? Just real quickly, the implied message is, of course, he's earning all this money. That money belongs to us. It's our money.
Yep.
We should have that.
Remember when what's her face from MSN says that's our job to tell people what the truth
Yeah,
is.
like Mika Brzezinski. Or
Yeah, that's her
whatever
name. Yes,
is.
thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tug is a guy who works in the mental health field. He's a guy who works in one of the most economically tough areas in the United States. God bless him and all the success.
He's
to
more
him.
qualified than most of the talking heads on MSNBC or CNN or any of those.
Exactly. Oh, it's so it's so frustrating as a fan to see.
Well, and of
this
course we
happen.
know him more personally here on the channel, so we got to remember that. But at the same, this is complete bullshit. I hope people see this for what it really is, And
think
I
they
hope other
will?
people in the media call him out for it. It's fucking low. It's some lowbrow hit piece bullshit that really, it just falls in line with the rest of the PR bullshit that Amber's team is running, basically, if you ask me.
This is
It's a
all they
hit.
know is political intimidation. And this is what they
Yeah.
do out there. This is what they have been doing for decades on this
This is
side
desperation.
Yes. They want
Is
to
what it is.
silence people. They want to use fear and intimidation to shut you up, to shut Tug up. They don't like it. These people are furious, especially here. I can tell you, I can't speak elsewhere in the world, but I can tell you here in the U.S., for those of us watching internationally, but they cannot stand the fact that they have lost control of the mainstream narrative in the last, I'd say, at least 10 to 15 years, especially, but they've been on a downward decline probably since the mid 90s, I would say at least. And they cannot stand the fact that they are not able to manipulate and control that the broad narrative out there where everybody just accepts like they used to 30, 40, 50 years ago when the news would come on and say, this is what happened in the news today. That's out the window. And they cannot stand the fact that they don't have that clout anymore, that there's so many alternatives out there that are exposing their bullshit.
And
That's
that,
why they're
I
going
think,
after Tug.
Yeah, and that really came to the head in this particular case, because they liked the UK trial in the US, because there they could like passively report what was happening and just give their preferred narrative. JD lost, believe all women, right? Whereas in the US trial, since it was on TV, everyone could see it. And more people followed it on YouTube and saw like the coverage from Rekieta Law and all of that than anyone did any kind of mainstream media. That is where the narrative was completely and utterly lost. The truth was out there, and the truth was out there in no small part because of actual online journalists like Tug. And they can't stand it because it goes to show exactly what you say. The mainstream media is not at all about actual information. Rather, it's about controlled information so that you can control the populace. Whereas this thing here breaks, it's like a moment where people actually see the mainstream media is lying straight in their face. And if they're lying about this case, what else are they lying about? I mean, now you're starting to have more and more things where people are starting to wake up. They see more and more lies. We're going to begin questioning more and more. And of course, yeah, then you have someone who's going to lash out pretty badly. And unfortunately, they're going to do it at unjustified targets, such as Tug was like, okay, here we have one that really stands out. That's the one that we're all going to go against and now utterly dox. And if they're worried about the money that he's making right now, oh, I can't wait for him to get Rittenhouse's lawyers and sue Newsweek and all of the mainstream
I hope he does.
media for the
I really
doxing
do.
that they're going to put him through.
Because
he just has to sit back and see
Well,
them perjure themselves.
here's the beauty of it all, Andre.
He's going to be so rich.
For some context, for those who don't know what's exactly going on, I don't know if Mike was going to say this or not, so I apologize if you were. What this boils down to is not only did Eve Barlow fucking dox him, she's doxing him over something that he doesn't even have control over.
Yeah.
She's claiming that he owns AmberHeard.net and EveBarlow.net.
He does not.
No.
Yeah. So this whole thing is predicated on some bullshit. It's just basically a pissing match right now. And Tug is just sitting back with like, he just got kind of kicked back with his feet up, letting her be her own worst enemy at this point.
Yeah,
is what it is.
Exactly. Here's like the thing that you can see like a new lawsuit where the jury will be getting like the new questions. Then they can look at this tweet from Eve Barlow.
I hope he sues the fuck out of her.
Look at each individual part of this thing here. Like, okay, is it true that he owns those platforms? No. Did Eve Barlow recently have good reason to think that he did or didn't? Could she find that out? Yes or no? If she knew that he didn't and she still pursued with these statements that could harm, was that done with malicious intent? I mean, this could be like
Exactly.
this very trial.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because not only that, it opens him up to dangers too. Because there is zero reason for her to put out any of his addresses or names. Because all that is a call to action, basically.
Exactly. Exactly.
And here's another reason why they're pissed. Because you guys are completely 100% right, and this goes right along with it. The reason they're pissed is because that isn't money going into their coffers or their pockets. And the other reason is only a measly 2 million fucking people listen to her spew her bullshit on Friday night. That's why. This is what's pissing her off, and this is what's pissing off the media, is that nobody is listening to her or them. They don't believe her. They don't want to listen to any more bullshit spin. That's why they're coming to him. That's why they're coming to Yellow Flash. That's why they're going to Mr. H. That's why they come to us. That's why you guys are here now, because you know we're not going to bullshit you.
Yep.
So...
And how much did NBC pay for that exclusive first interview?
I heard upwards of $200,000.
What?
I'm surprised it's that little.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
that sounds little to me.
It could be more than that, but I heard
I
around
think that's low.
$200,000.
And that's the point. The fact, and that's where the anger came in, right? Is because they paid, and if it's just $200,000, I am shocked at that
I'm
number.
thinking more like 2 million.
Exactly. I'm with you, Andre. I would have put another zero behind that because that was the first exclusive, an hour sit-down interview, and they only pulled 2 million viewers on that. That shit canned their advertising revenue. And that's the point. The reason you pay those big bucks to somebody like Amber Heard to get that first exclusive interview is to sell the dog shit out of the advertising for a show like that. And nobody
that was
watched
probably
it.
the highest bidder. I don't know. I'm just going off of something I heard. So it was just a rumor.
You might be
Yeah.
right, Tom, but I'm just saying I'm shocked if it really is that low.
When the announcement came out about this, that this was being booked, they made a point. There was an article that was published where they said that NBC was selected to be the exclusive. So there was at least a bidding war amongst 2, 3, or 4 different networks. There had to have been.
Absolutely.
And for
there would have been.
$200,000, that's probably her rider to cover expenses.
Well, you even got the LA Times writing about how it sunk their ratings. Okay,
Right.
now according to this, she was paid $1 million for that between that and the today's spot.
There you go.
That sounds
So that
more
makes
like it,
more
and that
sense.
still sounds little. I'm still saying like 2 million
Yeah.
is what I would expect.
Yeah,
them
I
to have
figured at
paid.
minimum 7 figures.
See, and
Bare
here's another
minimum.
way to look at it from a financial standpoint. Here's the other thing. When you look at some of the complaints that have been lodged against Tug, the things that have been said about him and how these different people are going at him on Twitter and the mainstream media, they keep focusing on the dollar amount and saying that he makes $1 million a year and this and this. That indicates incredible greed
Bullshit.
and jealousy. No. I know the number's wrong, but what I'm saying is
I know you do, but yeah.
by them taking that angle, that illustrates the fact that they don't want. It enrages them that someone that where they see some plebe like Tug, because that's how they feel about people that like Andre, like you, Tom. You know, these Hollywood types, they think that people that are on YouTube are just plebes. You know, that shouldn't matter. And so for someone to make the kind of money that they are trying to make and that they probably got paid, they're like, well, why the fuck is this guy over here? They're thinking that he's making $500,000 or $1 million or whatever the hell number they come up with. And that infuriates and incinerates their psyche to the point to where they just want to blow everything up.
It incenses them. Yeah, no, and you're right. And not only that, Tug doesn't really need this.
No.
Like he's done well enough on his comic books. He built his audience. This is like icing on the cake for him. So when he's out there saying, "Yeah, go ahead and keep it up, and go ahead, Eve, end up buying me a fucking platinum grill," he knows what he's up to. He's like, you're sitting here. Everything they're doing, and this goes for Amber going out there and doing her interview. This goes for Eve Barlow trying to dox and MSN and them trying to make him out to be what he isn't and all these other things and worried about how much money he's made. Guess what? All that shit is just feeding into people knowing who he is and is just going to make him bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's
Well, that's the thing. I was just listening to one of Tug's streams just the other day. I can't remember what day it was, but he was talking about how he himself is ready to move on, cover other topics,
yeah.
start talking about it, the next comic book.
I'd like to ask him some things about Ezra, to be honest with you, especially getting his, from his professional point of
But
view.
you know, they won't let him go. And you know what? God bless him. If they're not going to let him go, then I hope he monetizes this thing all the way to Kingdom Come.
And I hope he sues the shit out of her and MSN and all them people. But yeah, speaking of suing and all this kind of stuff, we're going to have to get to this Ezra business because, this shit just will not wait much longer. Waltman says, can you believe it? Oh, okay, we got this one already. Thank you, Waltman. That's what sent us down that path. But yeah, I'm glad we got to talk about that a little bit because I know not everybody is. And we normally don't get into that kind of stuff, but Tug is a friend of the channel. So I do like to bring that to the surface and let people know what the hell is going on. Nikki D says, have you guys watched that Thor clip and final trailer? If so, has your faith been restored in the film? I did not get a chance to watch the clip or if there's a new trailer, so I can't comment on that. Did anybody else get a chance?
I'm assuming that's the trailer that they ran ahead of
Today.
Top Gun.
No, there's a new one.
Oh, okay.
Well, that might have been no, it may have been. You may have seen that one, yes, but it just hit the internet today.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I thought it was the one they ran.
I'll tell you guys
Top
what.
Gun. So
after we talk the Ezra stuff, remind me and we'll go back to the trailers because Disney usually would drop claims if they claim at all. So we'll do those. So yeah, try and remind me, Nikki D, if one of the boys doesn't hear. Snowdub Live is in the house. How you doing, Snowdub? Says Andre is right. Well, he usually is. The tide is turning. I was at Dallas Fan Expo and Gina Carano consistently had longer lines than all the other celebrities there. Hail Midnight's Edge. Hail the panel. Yeah, you're not the only one who told me that. Wow. Snow, I've heard that too from other places. But I did just send Andre an interesting article that at least we know one company isn't going to change anytime soon, probably. And that is Amazon. I don't know if you had a chance to check that one out.
I did. I briefly skimmed it. No surprise there. That's Jennifer Salk for you. And the people that she hired.
What?
But I have to drop out here. I just want to come in and say hi, and Beavis and Butthead rules. Everyone needs to check it out so we can have a round table on it. Oh my God, it was so good. And as for Ezra, Tom, you already have the script and the audio in your inbox, so you know what you're doing after this. I'll just give one hint to my view on this whole thing. I'll say one sentence. It puts the lotion in the basket.
Wow.
That's where we're headed.
Well, it's getting to this point where you hate to ask what else could there be, because I'd like to know who had starting a cult on their Ezra Miller bingo, because you are one step closer to bingo, kids. We'll get to that here in just a moment.
I do have that. I was tempted to
I think it was you who mentioned it, or somebody did, but yeah.
Yeah. I was I had it. I had it on the Ezra Miller bingo. I did have start a cult, and we are getting there.
So yeah, I swear somebody else mentioned it too, but yes, definitely. That is on the table now, kids, and we're going to get to that here in just one moment. And thank you, Andre, for being here. We appreciate it. As much as we appreciate Gonzalo Bergali's very generous, I think that's Uruguayan pesos, 300 of them. Thank you so much. Says those domains are registered through an anonymous domain registration service, so it's probably her claim that he does after pointing them to his Twitter and YouTube channel.
That's all it is. Because the website's redirected to his stuff, and that's
she
that
lost.
Was her
because she lost him anyway over some doxing shit before, or some other shit or something like that. He was saying so, but anyway, Mecha J says the petition for Tug to keep his channels nearing 10,000 signatures goes to show that Eve Fartlow and the Herd Simps attempts to will fail. Well, here's the thing: even if, let's say, and this is a big fucking if, they were to manage to put enough pressure out there for YouTube to buckle and pull his channel, he's got so much support from the fellowship, from the amount of fans he has now, the exposure after this whole thing, that it won't last. It will not go to stand. I guarantee you that you will have all of us go to bat for him, and it won't last long. I don't see it happening. This is what I meant by saying this is desperation earlier. We heard from Tug when we talked to him last week that he had said that the whole plan was if she won, she was going to use that power to get him pulled off of YouTube, but she didn't. So now this is a last stitch desperation effort to try and get somebody else to use their power to get him pulled. But I don't think she's going to be able to get anybody to do it. And I don't think one or two articles is going to pull it off.
But I have to drop out here. So everyone,
right.
take care.
Take care.
See you all around later.
All right. Thank you, Andre. And then Rave Girls in the house says, hi, guys. Can Warner Brothers release the movie at this point? Well, that's the big question. No, they can't. Not with Ezra Miller in it. And that kind of goes along with what I've been hearing. They were already kind of planning on this move beforehand. And at this point, they're almost out of options. It's like you can't do anything but get rid of this kid now. But here we go. This is the latest one. So brace yourself, Mike. Ezra Miller housing 3 children and their mother in unsafe conditions at Vermont farm. The children's father is concerned about the amount of guns and cannabis on the property.
Uh-oh.
Now, let's stipulate. Let's show the guns in a minute because it's hilarious.
Oh, they don't have a picture here.
Oh, I saw a picture.
I don't have the Rolling Stone report because that one's up behind a paywall. So I have to go with this one. So sorry it's not the full extensive one I wish I could have, but I don't have Rolling Stone. As of late, I think that means as of the fate of Flash remains in limbo over Ezra Miller's publicly erratic behavior, a bombshell new report alleges that even more concerning activity involving children from the actor. According to a new report from the Rolling Stone, Miller is currently housing a 25-year-old mother and her 3 young children aged 1 to 5.
Uh-oh.
Jesus Christ. At their home in Vermont, the property reportedly doubles as an unlicensed cannabis farm and is littered with firearms. Multiple sources have expressed concern for the children's safety, citing incidents of frequent cannabis use and insufficient security around the guns. Miller's representatives did not immediately respond to IndieWire's request for comment. The family is said to have been living with Miller since April, after the mother met the actor in Hawaii in March. She claims that Miller helped her escape an abusive relationship, telling Rolling Stone anonymously that their home has been a healing heaven for the family. Miller uses they/them pronouns. Other sources see it differently. The children are reportedly exposed to large amounts of marijuana smoke in poorly ventilated environments, and there are 8 guns of various sizes strewn about the living room. One source told a particularly disturbing story about a 1-year-old child finding a loose bullet and putting it in their mouth. One source is the children's father, who anonymously spoke to Rolling Stone and expressed fear for the children's safety. Well, he's not really anonymous now, is he?
There's so many parts of this I don't understand, because if that's the child's father...
Well, if they don't give away the name of the parents, the mother and the kids, then I guess it'd be hard to pinpoint exactly who it is, but...
No, but I mean, it's the father. You know where this is. You feel like your child's in danger.
Well, yeah, but they've got guns, so he's obviously like not trying to go start some shit, evidently. Probably some gangbangers on top of it if it's a legal
I'll put it this way.
operation.
This is clearly not in Louisiana or Texas, because this shit is over in 5 fucking minutes.
I get what you're saying, but like
or
at this
South
point,
Carolina, I can tell you that much.
I still wouldn't go just gallivanting into no fucking drug lord's fucking growing operation, though.
I would. He's not there. It's clear
if you know that, that's my point. We only know this because we got an outside perspective on this. He may not know that necessarily, but maybe once he did, that's why he's telling the press, because he wants something done. I don't know.
I don't care. My children are in there.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm not saying that. He goes, I'm going through hell and back. He said, I got a bad feeling in my stomach. I do want to get my kids. They mean the fucking world to me. The mother told Rolling Stone that Miller may have firearms for self-defense purposes, and they are stored in a part of the house that children never go in. My kids are able to relax more into their healing because of the safety and nurturing Ezra has been providing for them. Rolling Stone reviewed text messages between the father and a Vermont social worker who said they had visited the house on May 16th and that the kids looked good, but that the worker had more work to do. The news is simply the latest addition to increasingly complex story about Miller's unraveling public persona. Since completing production on The Flash, during which Miller reportedly had on-set meltdowns, the actor has been arrested twice in Hawaii, first for disorderly conduct and harassment at a karaoke bar, and then for second-degree assault during a later incident. Miller has also been accused of grooming underage individuals. The multitude of accusations against Miller has prompted speculation about the fate of Warner Brothers' upcoming superhero film, The Flash, in which they star as the titular character. While the studio has reportedly paused future projects involving Miller, discussions about completed but unreleased film continue. The Flash is currently slated and to be released in July. I can tell you right now, they've already made the decision. They're going to reshoot this fucker. They got to.
Yeah.
I have not heard that. But I was from before some of this shit was going down. Just from what I've been told, it pretty much was like at that point they were already considering it.
A new movie.
Totally new movie.
Totally new movie.
Yeah.
This movie, as we have known it, is over. And what they're going to do is they're going to reset things within the master. I know everybody keeps saying, well, this thing's going to... Tom, I know you keep saying this movie's important because it leads to this and this. The fact of the matter is, aside from Batgirl, aside from Michael Keaton, they can find ways to replug those two minor things in. They're going to reshoot this fucking thing, and they're going to place it within whatever direction they're going in. They're going to regard this as a write-off, and they're going to regard this as a blessing, and they're going to relaunch their whole thing.
I don't know if they can really do much other than what... See, that's the thing. You could do certain things, but if you... The cheapest way to do it is to just basically reshoot what's already done and insert the new actor over the footage. Like, that's the cheapest way to do it, because otherwise you've got to call in people and bring back in people, and if they've already done reshoots, that means you got to pay them again, and they are not going to want to drag like Michael Keaton back down. I mean, maybe for one day, and that's about it, but we'll see. It's going to be an interesting move. I just remind people, because they're like, oh, they won't spend. Like, remember, they spent $80 million to re-release the Justice League. That's about what they're probably looking at here to reshoot with this kid. Because they're not going to really have to redo much of the special effects and all that kind of stuff. That's an easier fix. The bigger problem is going to be just shooting the actual scenes, and the problem is that he plays so many roles in the movie. That's the other thing. And from what we've been hearing, this Dylan O'Brien kid is the front runner. So, and I'm almost positive that's what's going to end up happening now. Now, will they change some things? Likely. That's one of the reasons I heard they were doing all these screenings, just like with Amber. They did those screenings to see like what worked better and what didn't, and if they're going to end up reshooting it, then they want her in it a little bit more, not just 10 minutes. Well, in this case, my guess is they're going to cut it down to the bare minimum, like as much as they can before it quits making sense, and then that's what they know they got to reshoot. That's just me guessing and speculating after all the things I know, but it's still going to come out. It's just not going to be the form it's not going to have Ezra Miller. They cannot release it with Ezra Miller in it at this point. It's unreleasable.
No.
Not even if you just recast one of the roles, keep him a bad guy or any of that shit. All that shit's gone out the window too at this point.
What I said the other day was it really depends a lot, I think, on how far they got into post-production, right? This is a big superhero action film. Buttloads of post-production CGI that needed to be done. How far did they get into it? And then the question becomes is, how many scenes do they really need to reshoot that involve Ezra Miller?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Versus how many scenes that have Ezra in it that are going to be obscured by action, CGI, something else that they can fix. They're like, I don't need to reshoot this. All we need to do is like you can't see his face in the shot. Or
to be able to take his name off the movie, though, I think they have to remove him completely. Right, like that's the thing.
That's probably
so
true.
like there's the whole Crispin Glover rule, and then there's the other side of it is where they cannot use any bits and pieces of him, and that goes into the whole thing with that's why there was always arguments whether or not there was still bits of what's his face in Back to the Future.
Back to the Future 2, Crispin Glover, yeah, they were.
Well, not just that one, but the first movie, because I guess that was
Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz, yeah, because
Yeah.
I guess part of the reason that a lot of his footage hasn't been released yet is I guess they'd been arguing over the years that he claims certain bits and pieces were used of his footage that then and the Bobs say, oh no, we reshot all that. Like there's a big argument of whether or not like the punch scene with Biff is actually Michael J. Fox or Eric Stoltz because it's from behind and some other shit. So there's been a bit of back and forth with that over the years too, which that all that stuff between those two movies basically set a whole bunch of rules into place in the guilds and all that stuff that you're only allowed to do so much with leeway. So they got to get him out of the movie kind of like how they probably did with Tig Notaro, bringing her into that Army of the Dead movie with Zack Snyder, ironically enough. And that's pretty much the choice they've got at this point. I mean,
You know what? If I'm
otherwise-
Zaslav right now, I'm rolling the dice. Screw you. Yeah, come after me later. This is what I'm fixing now, because I'm not going to spend the extra $10 million to fix the scenes I don't need to fix. That still have. I mean, he still gets paid. I mean, I know it might not be right or wrong, but if
No,
I'm
I get what
Zaslav,
you're saying, but
part of me is saying, I'll take the odds.
I get what you're saying, but like, here's the thing: is
Yeah.
when it was just a chair thrown in a choke, you could get away with just releasing the movie, and as long as people know he's not coming back, that's one thing.
Right.
Now you have the situation where you cannot have his name on this thing.
Yep.
We've been hearing more about Michael Keaton just being
Well, that's what I'm
irate.
saying. Strip his name. Use the footage you could. Recast it. You know, do what you have to do. And if he comes back later and say, well, you used a shot of me streaking by it at 5,000 miles an hour where you couldn't see my face. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
that's what I'm
probably
saying. Roll the
CGI,
dice.
but yeah.
That's what I'm
And that's
saying. That's what you roll the dice on. As far as not giving him credit. You strip him out of the movie completely, recast him, but you still use footage of him that you shot that you cannot tell that it's him.
Yeah.
And let the chips fall where they may. You want to take me to court? Go ahead. Let's do it.
Well, I know I see there's a little bit of discrepancy in the chat about what I was just saying, and here's the point. Yes, the Crispin Glover situation and the Eric Stoltz situation are two completely different situations.
Yeah.
But that's where the argument comes in with Stoltz is they took his name off the picture. Yeah, he still got paid too.
Yeah.
But like there's been an argument of whether or not some of his, other footage was used that was supposed to be removed and reshot.
Stoltz also didn't, do what Ezra has done. Stoltz was replaced because it was an artistic. He didn't fit with the show.
That's
right?
true, but at the same time, you still have a situation here where they got to do something. And
Depends
I know
on
what you're
how
saying
the
too,
contract
Mike.
was written.
But they've got, even if you wash your hands of the $200 million that's already put into this movie, if it's only going to cost them another $100 million to reshoot it at this point, just do it. Right?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that's
what I'm
kind of
saying,
where
Tom.
they're at.
I don't know if they spent the whole $200 million yet. That's what I was saying about how far did they get into post-production? Because if they didn't spend, if they got everything in the can,
I don't know. Nobody really said.
and then they only did 10 or 20%. Post-production on this film is probably $100 million.
We've never really heard from any of the, any of the test screenings of whether or not it had a whole lot of stuff left to finish or not. Like, I would assume at this point it's been long enough. The damn thing's got to be damn near done, if not done already.
Maybe, yeah.
Like,
I just don't know that.
But if it is done, I don't know why they just didn't try and find a way to rush the damn thing out and get it out a month or two ago, like Script Doctor said. But I know that's nearly impossible to ramp up a campaign that quickly.
It's
because
done.
I'm
The
still
cake-
waiting for the
cake is
big
baked.
announcement that both of them are going to be, both Aquaman and that are going to be delayed again. You watch.
Yeah.
I have a feeling. Let's get to some of these super chats. Carlos Estrada says, will Zack Snyder deny his association with Ezra Miller? Probably not.
Nah.
No.
I am not affiliated with Geeks and Gamers or Ezra Miller.
Yeah. Gerald Armstrong says, are you planning to watch Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe? It's out. Yes. Andre and I watched it. We reviewed it on the main channel this morning. You can check it out there. Otherwise, we're hoping to do another roundtable soon. Some other people. Like, we also have 70s Rock Fan joining us. How you doing?
Evening. Hey,
My bald
Great
brother.
remedies.
Hi guys, nice to see you all.
Not bad.
Good
Sorry I'm
evening.
late.
Yeah, no problem. And then Ezra Miller's like, or Goddess of Women's like, another day for me, another Ezra Miller nut story. Yeah, exactly.
I don't
like,
want any more stories about
another
Ezra's
day that
nuts.
ends in Y. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Has
no,
he
that
got
he's,
nuts?
No.
no, well, who knows? Carlos Estrada sends in another 5. Thank you so much. Says, if Ezra ends up in a standoff, will Zack Snyder tell everyone to stop the they them hate and call for defunding of the police? You know what? This is the funniest shit I've seen, and a lot of other YouTubers have been dealing with this too, is whenever people talk about Ezra Miller and they say he, you'll get about 2 or 3 idiots who've got to come in and say, regardless of what they may have done, it still doesn't mean you should disrespect their pronouns. It's like, no, people need to get respect from
disrespect
me. Yeah, people need to get respect from me before I respect their fucking pronouns. I'm sorry.
The most
not respecting-
disgusting thing I've seen about all this Ezra crap is the media, many of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, the Twitter posts, the articles that have gone out of their way to make it very apparent. Like in the headlines, they use the word they and them to refer to Ezra. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sure there's a cliff somewhere that you can find to go walk off of. I'm tired. I'm like to give this Jack Weasel. This guy is insane.
That would have just got you booted from Twitter, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I know this because I told some asshat to go play in traffic.
Yeah.
And that got me my 12-hour suspension.
It's in the same vein as go take a long walk off a short pier. How about that?
Exactly.
You know,
like all I said
thing.
was go take a walk in traffic. Your mom probably doesn't miss you much, and that got me booted from Twitter for 12 hours. Of course, the little bitch probably reported me right away. But yeah.
Right. That's what everybody's sensitive about is this nonsense. But I mean, that's the most disgusting thing. Ezra Miller is nuts. He's a mental defective on multitudes of levels. And he needs to be in prison or in a padded cell. And like I said, I think last week here on Midnight's Edge, I said he is the actual only DC character at this point that legitimately belongs in Arkham Asylum. Yeah. That's it. I mean, that's it.
You're not wrong.
Nah, that's
I'm sick of being nice and placating all these dumb fucks.
Yeah,
exactly.
I double majored at Stanford in English literature, and you know what? F this bullshit. Just because you got mental problems, and you know what most of our problem is right now in the society? You have a lot of nice people who are decent and trying to be cordial and cool, and these morons, there's no amount of cool that makes them happy. So fuck them.
They took advantage of the tolerance. Yeah.
You'll never appease them.
Fuck
never.
them. Fuck them all. I ain't respecting any of the bullshit. Anyone who calls himself progressive or liberal, you're part of the problem. You're making problems and you're allowing problems to exist. And you're not part of the solution.
It's on a par with saying to Charles Manson, "Oh, we've got to call him Mister." You know, Mr. Manson.
Yeah. So with what respect does he
Show
deserve?
some respect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Michael Gonzalez says, "What did they do when Kevin Spacey was canceled?" Well, just that they reshot. But fortunately for that situation, Kevin Spacey wasn't in the last film that they reshot. I can't remember what the hell it's called. All the Money in the World or whatever it was.
Well, I think it was more of an issue for
He was
House
only
of
in-
Cards.
Well, that was
Netflix.
they just wrote him right the fuck out of that.
Kill
Well,
them off,
that's they had. I thought they had already kind of started production on that season, and then they had to cut it. They stopped. They backtracked. They rewrote, and they had to go in and basically write him completely out to where it's like, oh, he had a stroke. He's dead now, and that was it. And Robin, what's her name? Robin Wright. Robin Wright. Took over. I mean, that was it.
Yeah. She did a great Hillary Clinton impression, though.
Oh my God, yes.
And Night of Snoke, this has been told to me by sources I cannot reveal, and it's also been making the press tour as well. So that's where I've been hearing about Dylan O'Brien. It's the best I can tell you. So yeah. And I think we're caught up on Super Chats then, and yeah, let's take a look at these. Does anybody find these Thor clips or trailers or anything? Let me see if I can find it here.
I'll look. If it's the same one I saw the 3 times that I watched Top Gun that they now put on YouTube.
No, I think that's the main trailer.
This was the final trailer they're calling it, I believe. So that's not a long one.
I mean, nothing's going to change my opinion because the first trailer was such shit that just because they cut the shit parts out is not going to trick me into forgetting that the first one looked like shit.
Yeah. Each trailer it makes it look successively worse, each trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
this one is...
The trailer that they released with Top Gun Maverick before that movie, like they had cut a lot of the stupid shit out of it. The only thing they deliberately left in was Chris Hemsworth's clothes getting ripped off.
Oh, right? That's not in this one, I don't think.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look.
I'm tired of this exploitation of our male bodies. I think it's ridiculous.
That's right.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Seeks to end us all and bring together the greatest team ever.
Are you packed? Yes.
I'm out already.
Thought you would have pulled out a double-sided dildo.
We've got Korg.
He's my best friend.
Yes. There's my ex-girlfriend Jay. Valkyrie.
This is the best day of my life.
Guardians.
And giant goats.
Oh, look at those. They are wonderful.
Yes, they are. They also scream quite a lot.
be a relaxing holiday.
I said it was
She doing
going
the
to be
Van
like
Damme
a
thing?
relaxing holiday.
Human handshake. It's the Asgardian shake. Into the snake that you cannot trust.
Really dragging this out.
And finish the classic Asgardian high one. In theaters July 8th. Tickets on sale now.
All right, I'm going to make a bet
Okie
right
dokie.
now that 90% of what you just saw is in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, and you've seen almost all of Chris Pratt's stuff right there.
Bingo. That's it. All the
it,
Guardian
right
stuff,
there.
Rocket, everybody, that was it right there. That's all of it. I know. Look, I have learned how Marvel works with this bait and switch shit.
And then it's going to be an hour and a half of Tessa Thompson.
Exactly. The first trailer they put out with all the stupid stuff. Well, Flash, I don't know. If it winds up performing like Doctor Strange, it won't. And I have a feeling that's what's going to
There's a
happen.
difference
buddy.
between this and Doctor Strange.
Yeah, he's
Doctor
bigger.
Strange didn't have Chris Hemsworth. Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
that I understand, but let
and
me
the Guardians
throw
of the
this at you.
Galaxy, for that matter.
Yeah,
It
it's
didn't
gonna have
have
a
that, but Doctor Strange also had a really strong lead-in from Spider-Man: No Way Home. So, I mean, it. Oh, look!
It
it's
had the big opening,
Flash,
though,
it's
but
gonna
the word
gross.
of mouth got around on that. It all depends on this.
That's what happened.
Word of mouth.
But here's the
atmosphere
clip.
there has a darkness like no other. It's as if color fears to tread. It's unmistakable.
Well, then, if it's color we need, let's bring the rainbow.
Bring the rainbow. Is that a catchphrase or something?
She's only been a Thor for a minute. I mean, saving lives she's quite good at, but the rest of it, she needs work.
How many catchphrases have there been?
A lot.
Yep. Jump the gun.
But hang on, he moves through shadows and he's going to the shadow realm. It seems like that's where he's going to be the most powerful.
You're right. We can't just go marching in there. It could be a trap.
Are you thinking what I think you're thinking?
I'm thinking it.
What are we thinking?
Thinking what? Thinking it too.
Omnipotency.
So that's the ex-girlfriend, is it?
The old ex-girlfriend.
Jodie Foster.
Jane Foster.
The one that got away.
The one that got away.
That means escaped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Must be hard for you to see your
Escaped.
ex-girlfriend and your ex-hammer hanging out and getting on so well.
Jesus.
What you up to, bro?
Go to daddy. There's no need.
No.
Fuck, that's like me trying to get Bambino.
Hey, there you are.
Oh my God.
I was just calling you.
Holy shit.
He's not worthy.
So,
Oh boy. Hammer envy.
it for sure should make $1 billion. Flash, just since you
It'll-
brought this up,
probably.
it should. It should. And the thing, if it does, the thing that's going to get it there is the Hemsworth thing. My point is that just like Strange had a tremendous opening weekend, and then it flatlined. I mean, it died after that. I mean, the metrics on it were atrocious. If that happens with this, it's not going to get there. Now, it just depends on how much of a stretch this thing can pull out. A lot of that's going to have to do with audience reaction. I totally agree with the Hemsworth factor because there's a lot of girls who are just going to want to go see this to
Right.
see. And that's why they put in every trailer except for this new one, Chris Hemsworth's clothes getting ripped off. And like, oh, he's naked. I mean, even in the first trailer, they had these total nudity in the first trailer with a blur over his butt. I mean, that was designed. It's like we're gonna get the
It was a
chicks
big
into this
blur.
movie.
It was a big
Yeah.
blur, though.
That's it.
Yeah, it's
So it is totally pop. But look, this is another one of these Marvel films, like they all do. They have got to get to at least $600 million before they break even. So it's like it's going to make $1 billion, yes, but I mean, okay, if Marvel can get to that $1 billion mark and take home 150 is basically what they would profit, 150 to 200 million on something like that. That's great, but like I said, like I've been saying, when you consider the ticket prices are 30% to 50% higher, especially on premium large format screens, than they were in 2019 when Endgame came out and Phase 3 ended. When you start looking at the actual ticket sales, this is on a steady decline for Phase 4. It's absolutely on a steady decline.
Well, that's what I was wondering, is that they cannot have made, if any, profit overall with Phase 4.
Overall with Phase 4? No,
yeah, if
they're
you
in the
take
hole.
the whole of Phase 4, there's no way that they've made a substantial, if any, profit on these. Like, Doctor Strange has probably made money. But
Doctor Strange did make money.
yeah, but the others...
Spider-Man they made a nut off of from the deal with Sony. But in terms, I mean, they lost money on Shang-Chi. They lost big money on the Eternals.
Yeah,
big money.
Big flop, yeah.
And I made a quip the other day. Whatever they made on Doctor Strange in terms of their quarterly, because everybody can go look at the public information on Disney's quarterly reports, their quarterly financials. They break out even in the earnings call itself, but it's on the financials, the public financials. The operating income for the theatrical and distribution wing. Whatever they've been losing money every quarter since the pandemic. They have not made money in a single quarter yet in that realm. And whatever money they did make with Doctor Strange, they just lost every bit of it times 2 with Lightyear. So it's just a back and forth swing right now. Every time they get something that does get in the black in the theaters, and there's no secondary market for it because they're dumping it on Disney Plus. It's not like the old days where they would sell, $150 million worth of Blu-rays and then license it out to Netflix for another $100+ million or $150 million for a 12-month lease. That's all gone. So they're just not making the money on these things anymore.
There's a large number of people who will just say, you know what, if I want to watch this, I'm going to wait till Disney Plus. I'm going to wait till it's streaming. Why would I go to the theater? It's just not worth it. So they're probably lost people expect it now to be streamed. They've put that in their heads. It's going to be streamed pretty quick. Don't worry about it. They've ruined their own model.
Wow. The reason it keeps getting streamed pretty quick is because they keep failing in the theaters. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness was that was an exclusive theatrical release. There was no pre-announcement for any window. It was not like Shang-Chi or the Eternals with a 45-day exclusive window. It was just released in the theaters.
But it ended up going in 45 days like I said it would.
Ding! And guess what? Lightyear might be 30.
Yeah, it's on Disney already.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Doctor Strange is already on Disney.
Yeah, so the latest news, though, not to change the subject, ads are officially coming to Netflix. Too bad Culture isn't here, because he could be like, I told you so. Because we've all been talking about this.
So
but after years of...
sorry, but
ads on Net. Oh, I've been saying
streaming?
that.
Why do we need streaming if we're going to have ads? So,
well, yeah, no. That kind of defeats the purpose, I know. After years of resisting advertisements on its streaming platform, Netflix is introducing commercials to its service. Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos confirmed on Thursday that the company would begin testing an ad-supported lower-price subscription tier. The streaming company is speaking to multiple potential partners, to help ease its entrance into the ad world. Sarandos said while speaking at the International Ad Festival, Cannes Lions, those partners reportedly include Comcast, NBC Universal, and Google, which is funny because Peacock has their own service with NBC Universal, Comcast. So yeah, I mean, really, there's not much more to say than that.
So we're gonna have adverts, and we're gonna have going back to a model where many shows are released episode per week. Remind me again why I shouldn't have cable.
This is true.
I don't know how many they're going back to weekly releases though. 70s. I think.
Well, it does look like Netflix is starting to split them up a little bit more. Yeah.
I don't know about Valiant. We've gone from a place in the last 3 years where almost everything was dropped in mass to where increasingly more and more shows that people seem to like are being dropped in pieces.
I think Netflix will drop some. Yeah. And again, Netflix is hard to compare to other streamers, and the reason is because A, Netflix is the oldest, they're the biggest, and B, they have the most content, right? So other streamers are doing the weekly releases, especially Disney, because they have jack shit, nothing on there, right? So they have to fill in the gaps to keep those subscriptions fluid from month to month. Netflix, they can binge drop stuff left and right. And it does, and they have plenty enough content coming in there to fill every gap with binges. Now, I do think overall down the road, if they go to weekly releases, it would be wise because it would be very helpful, especially with the advertising. I think they will potentially do that with some things, but I think the shows that they have right now that people are accustomed to, Stranger Things, for example, they are not going to shift midstream and go to a weekly release. They're going to keep those in the binge model, but if you notice, they have been basically positioning their structure to be more, I guess, amenable to that advertising model, to where we're now getting seasons in 2 parts. We got Ozark, part 1, part 2. So you still get to binge, but you get to binge half at a time. And they're only setting them like a month and a half, 2 months apart.
Yeah, they're a month and a half, 2 months
now
apart.
Stranger
not a year.
Things, same thing. So I think they're finding a good hybrid middle ground with that, which is, I think, very wise. Because it's creating a hype. And Tom and I have talked about this before. One of the biggest things with the weekly releases is that, you know, you get to create that hype week to week to week to week to week. So like when Cobra Kai season 5, 6, what the hell? I just blanked out.
They're on 5.
They just finished 5, right? Yeah, they just finished 5. So when season 6 comes out, I expect to see that same type of model, to where they will have, you know, 5 episodes in a binge, 2 months later another 5 episodes, because they've come to realize that keeping that hype going, people talking about it, because once you drop it all at one time, the hype and the talk is over within like a week or 2. And if they're going to sell advertising, they need to stretch that out. They really do.
And I honestly, I bet you within the next 2 years, they will phase out the binge model, to be honest with you, Valiant, outside of things that are already like pre-established seasons.
That's right. What I mean. The pre-established stuff.
I think that from here on out, any of the Netflix originals, I mean, we'll start to slowly see them trickle out into a 2-part, then 3-part drops, and then we'll just get to the point where they literally may drop 1 or 2 episodes a week, and that's it. Because they're going to get to that point where, like you said, with Stranger Things and some of these other things
you're talking, Tom, about Netflix originals. I still think, you know, older content that they pick up from other places,
that'll just get dumped on
obviously
there.
just dump, like Indian or Korean or Japanese.
Exactly. Any of that stuff, that'll all just get dumped like normal. Like if they end up getting a deal for whatever fucking show.
I don't know if you heard this.
Great content there. I mean, the
Ninja Turtles, you know, like, they'll just drop the whole fucking thing at once. They won't get Ninja Turtles because it's Paramount, but I'm just, you know, coming up with a random thing in my head. But like...
Well, I don't know if you heard the other prediction I made for Netflix and some of these other streamers. I said this on Pop Culture Minefield with Gary and Keith about a week or 2 ago. Just get ready, and Netflix might be one of the first to do it, because everything that they've had has been proprietary. It's never been anywhere else. You will start seeing things like Stranger Things season 1 and 2, the older shows like all the old House of Cards and stuff like that. They're going to be syndicated. They're going to be sold out and syndicated in the next 2 to 3 years.
That's
because
point,
one of the things that they have found out,
that won't surprise me,
and the reason I'm saying this is because VIP, the Variety magazine, Variety Intelligence Program, and Samba TV started digging into research. And one of the things they learned with these binge models, okay, is that within about, let's just round it off and say 60 days of a binge release, 95+% of the lifetime views of whatever that binge release was have already happened within 60 days. So what they have is they have a bunch of properties sitting on there that are dead assets.
Gathering dust on the
nothing.
shelf. Yeah.
Exactly. But think about selling 2 years from now season 1 of Squid Game. Think about selling right now the first 2 seasons of Stranger Things as this new one releases to Sci-Fi Channel or something like that. If Netflix can sell, or not sell, but lease a lot of its dead asset content library that's just sitting there collecting dust, and they can pull in perhaps another $1 billion a year in revenue from licensing these things out or more, it's happening. Watch it happen. I'm telling you, within the next couple of years, it's going to happen.
You make a good point, because I've wondered in the past why that hasn't happened before.
It's coming.
I would have thought there was some opportunity there for sure.
Well, they have with premium shows like HBO and Showtime shows already and stuff like that. And again, yeah, I'm the only reason I think a lot of these haven't so far yet is purely the fact that they only have like these 10, 12 episode seasons usually. Which means you have to have a show that's been on for over 10 years to be able to get enough episodes for syndication.
That's why I say
problem,
Netflix will be the first, is because they have been at it the longest.
Right, exactly. Sooner or later, they'll have enough of those shows to where
Netflix has tons of stuff, even the stuff that's like finished, that like had 2 seasons, and it's like, well, nobody's watching it on here. But you know what? If I can license one of the shows I love on there is Forged in Fire. It's a bunch of, they just get a bunch of guys on a game show to make swords and knives and compete. I freaking love that show. But here's the thing. If they can license that out to Zaslav and Discovery Plus for $20 million, which is what it cost them to make the show probably for 4 seasons, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. Why not?
They wouldn't take it off their own platform. They would just license it to be shown on these other platforms as well.
Well, they might have to retract. Yeah, they might have to retract the seasons that they have that they license out. But again, if it's sitting there and you've got no viewership going on, or statistically no viewership going on, why wouldn't you do it? It's doing nothing for you. It's just good business.
Because and that's interesting you say that, Valiant, because good business is something that's been lacking. Good business sense has been lacking in the halls of Hollywood recently. So it's interesting you say that phrase. Perhaps they're actually thinking of making money again. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry, I went on a soapbox too long.
It's like no, it was great. It's good. I find that the deeper recesses of Netflix have actually got some really good overseas stuff on them, and that's where I'm finding a lot of enjoyment, looking up the Indian, Japanese, Korean shows, stuff that you would find hard to get anywhere else. I don't think there's a lot of money in it for them in terms of making extra cash, but I'm certainly enjoying that stuff. So whether or not I would watch them if there were adverts on them, that's a different story.
See, it looks like here that it was already produced by Discovery to begin with. So
so
you'll have some of those in that case. But no, I can clearly see
some. But you get my point. Thank you.
No,
I
totally get
guys.
what you're saying. But
I found it on Netflix. That's where I've been watching it. So that's all. But thank you for the heads up.
No, I think we're going to start wrapping things up. The biggest story of the day, of course, was Ezra. More trouble with Ezra. So I got to get that stupid video done.
If that was you or I, as a private individual doing those things, we would have been incarcerated long ago.
We'd have choked a bitch and got it on videotape. We'd have been in trouble a long ass time ago. Yeah. We'd have never been able to do any of the other shit.
And this is why I'm glad I didn't grow up with smartphones.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't grow up with any phones, Valiant. Well,
the phones got smarter and the people got dumber.
There was one that had a big, long, curly lead that used to be attached to the wall. I had one of those.
Who remembers carrying around quarters to make a phone call?
Right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Remember those good old days?
And trying to make
I was on the cusp between that and the cell phones. Like not the Zach Morris cell phone, but you know.
I had a Motorola Brick when they were out.
Yeah, that was the Zach Morris phone.
Yeah, they were great. We could hit people with them. Did I say that out loud? Self-defense.
No worries. I think it's been long enough that they can't prosecute. So with that, I'm going to say check out Beavis and Butthead. It's good fun. I wouldn't say it's for the whole family, though.
Uh-oh.
Never was.
But
it's not a kid's show. Like,
don't let your grandparents see it. Just your children.
Honestly, it's a lot tamer than South Park, though. But yeah. Thanks a lot, kids. Check out Valiant's channel. You got anything coming up here?
The only thing right now that I have on the schedule is I'm going to try to do the 10,000 subscriber celebration live show. I think Saturday afternoon. So.
All right.
That's it for right now.
Let's see here. Mike, you got anything special coming up?
Nope. Just hoping Tom gets a vacation and some sleep sometime.
Psh, never. You're asking too much there. way too much there. But thank you for the well wishes, just the same. Clobby, you got anything coming up?
We're just over about an hour and some change. I got the big clubhouse coming tonight with Raquel and Mark. We're gonna talk about all kind of different things going on and shows tonight. And Saturday night Star Trek, Saturday night, of course, oddly enough, and again Monday night if you're able to make it, because I know you're a busy man, Tom, but you are invited. Monday night, Mark C Comics Talk. Well, Mark D and I are gonna count down the 25 worst comic book movies.
I'm thinking about that. I want to be there, so hopefully I can get my list together. And
you're more than welcome to join us, even if you can't make a list, and you can comment on our dumb list or whatever.
Yeah.
if nothing else, but like I said, no pressure, brother. But I'd love to have you. So.
All right, it's Sammy Rock fan, my friend. What do you got coming up? Anything?
Well, if you want to do something between this show and Clobby's show he's just mentioned in an hour or so, then come over to Foulball Productions, and Matt and I are going to finish off reviewing the episodes of The Offer. Episodes 7 to 10, and obviously
if I didn't have something to edit, I'd come with you.
You come over, Tom. We need.
I would, but I got to get this damn thing edited.
So we're gonna do that.
But you have my support, and I loved it. Great show.
Oh, a fantastic show. If people out there don't know about it, well, obviously they can watch the video I made about it. But if they don't know about it, go find it. It's brilliant. The Offer. If you love The Godfather, and even if you don't, you'll love this show.
Yeah. Hit that like on the way out the door. Yeah, it's a great show. Like you said, you don't even really technically have to be a fan of The Godfather to enjoy it. It's just a good show.
It's
about
great drama in its own right, yeah.
Yeah. About the struggles of making a film. And with that... Oh, go ahead, 70s.
No, I was going to say, in the days when Hollywood cared about entertaining us.
Right.
And making quality entertainment that they wanted people to come and watch. What a novel idea.
I think that's a good idea. We should have more of that.
Revolutionary idea.
Like Beavis and Butthead do America. Or, I mean, do the universe.
Well, it's like everything else with Hollywood. They will have that revolution again, and then they will pretend like it's the first time anybody ever thought of this.
Right. What if we do something raunchy and it works? Yeah. All right, kids. So in tribute to Beavis and Butthead making their triumphant return.
This sucks.
Yeah, me